Hey guys, my name is Force, and today we're going to be talking about my high school academia, or Boko. No, I actually don't know how to say the other term of it, but I want to discuss on the trader part. I've been watching a lot. I've been like watching a lot of animes and people discussing who the trader is. People trying to figure out if it's the students, the teachers. Um, I want to break out on who I think might be the traitor and how I came to that conclusion. But I also wanted to go over the villains that might know and might not know, and why I personally feel that Tomura doesn't know who his partner or the traitor is, because I think he's getting the information from All for One, and the reason I say that is because I want to break down the encounters that where they attacked off the anime. So this does have a lot of spoilers for those who haven't watched the anime. I would not suggest going any further than this. For those that have completed all the animes, all the anime episodes, this should probably be okay with you guys. So let's break out Tomura and his character, and why I don't think he actually knows who his partner is at the school. And the first clue I mostly get from watching him is on the first time that they teleport to the school, where they're expecting to see All Might, but he's not there. Is if you take a look at Tomura's character, he seems like to be expecting certain expectations and to basically not account for anything that could go wrong. So if you really close at him, he doesn't seem very professional. He doesn't seem like he had he didn't look like he did a lot of research, because when All for One shows up, One for All shows up. He starts to complain. He starts to say like, "Oh, I was told he was weaker. He wasn't weaker." Blah blah blah. He doesn't seem like a person who actually took the time to research his opponent. He just wants instant gratification. It doesn't seem like he puts any effort into long-term gratification. Where his boss, All for One, the main supervillain, seems to be a polar opposite when it comes to this. He likes long-term gratification, and he enjoys the suffering of others. He likes to see other people suffer way more inside by betrayal. And you can tell, because the only reason I feel he picked Tomura was because there was connection between All for One and the predecessor. That's the only reason I feel All for One picked him in general. Because I'll be honest with you, I feel like All for One could have mentored anybody else, but he chose Tomura because he's linked to the previous predecessor of One for All. And he did all that just to mess with All Might. And that's what I mean. This guy likes long-term gratification. He enjoys people suffering, especially that of his opponents. And he will actually take his sweet time for long-term gratification, just to get the pain of his opponent, just the way they fall into despair. He just has that really hardcore mentality. And so I think he would actually take the time into putting someone at the school who would be a traitor. But I don't see Tomura having someone like that, and I don't see All for One sharing that information with Tomura as of right now. And the reason I say that is because All for One, pretty sure he's been watching Tomura been training, and he realizes he's not ready. He's still in the process of training, and he can still see that he wants instant gratification. Hence why he's been so patient with them, to transform them, to change them. And that's why he wouldn't give him the information. Now, Kurugari, the teleporting guy, I can't say his name right, sorry about that. I feel like he might know, because he's an underling. He kind of works for both of them, but he seems very patient, taking his sweet time. So I feel like he might know, but he might know, but he probably won't share that information with Tomura, because All for One probably would not give him that permission, because Tomura would use it to instantly gather information and make it more obvious who the traitor is. So that's why I don't think Tomura is fully aware of what's going on at the school. He just gets his information from either Kurugagi, All for One, or both of them, depending on who translates to who. Now, let's break down the places where supposedly everybody has talked to, where they've encountered Tomura trying to attack the school. Now, the first one is, we have the first one when they go to training at the college or high school for disaster training. It was some form of training. I think it was disaster training. Now, the second one is, I believe, Huh. I know there's two to three more encounters. There's one where they meet at a mall. Everybody talks about how they meet at a mall, and then that's why a lot of people believe it's a student, which it could be a student and a teacher. So we have the training and the school, and then when they do a secret training, they still show up there too. So far three encounters, and then the fourth encounter is when they actually have that big fight. When they try to find all the when they try to get Deku back, or Bakugo back. I'm sorry, Bakugo back, and then they find that weird location where all the Namus are at. That's like the fourth encounter, and the fourth encounter made a big thing for me because I noticed something very there. I noticed something that really stuck out to me that made me realize who the traitor was. For those, like I said, that have been watching the anime, you'll get a glimpse of All For One here and there. Now, sometimes they'll show All For One, or they'll show this huge building, and then All For One will show up. So I'm not sure if they're just showing that part, or if he's in a huge ass building. But I know in one particular episode, they show a huge ass building, and then they show All For One, like if he was inside the huge ass building, like a skyscraper. And if that's true, then that only helped clarify my who might be the actual traitor. And at first I was thinking it was one of the teachers. Now the only people that I can go by that would be the traitor at the school would be class A1 teacher, which a lot of people would probably zone out to. I would too. He just has too much history there. He doesn't seem like, it would be kind of really messed up if they made him the traitor, so I hardly doubt it. The other one is the principal. There's not much information on the principal. I'm not sure if it would be the principal. Maybe if there's a manipulation on him, like a quirk wise, it could be him. But I highly doubt it's the principal. But he was my second highest. And then my third one is the teacher from class 1B, the Crimson King, which I think uses blood type quirk or something like that. I actually think he's the traitor. And the reason I think he is the traitor is if you remove the one where Tomura met Deku by accident, like fate, if you don't count that one I want as a traitor giving out information, and just count that as a super like destiny thing, and just remove that one out of the equation, you have the school one, the second training camp, and then you have the one where All For One and One For All meet up. And the reason I thought about that is because in all these, he's involved. In the first one, he could gather information. On the secret trip one, his school also goes. Not school, I mean class. Now around the time that he goes, that's when the villains kind of start showing up too. So that was the indicator. And I think it took a while to get all that information because he doesn't report directly to Tomura, he reports All For One. Now, what made it kind of clear for me that he might have been a high potential traitor is when they're at the station trying to figure out how to get Baku back after he's been kidnapped. He's there at the station, and when he's there, the people like Tomura doesn't know because, like I said before, he's not in line with Tomura. He's in line with All For One. And the reason that gave me the biggest hint that he might be the traitor is back to the part where I said they show a clip of this huge skyscraper and All For One's in it. But when they find the location of all the Namus, All For One shows up. He literally shows up like he's been waiting. Like he barely got there, and he just magically shows up there. And also, because the Crimson guy isn't really at there, he's at the second spot. So in order for him not to make it look like he's not helping out with the good guys, All For One has to go to the second location, free all the Namus, teleport them to where Tomura is, and then release them, all according to like a scheme plan. And that's the only time that I see that he's constantly in all the locations where, or at least been around to give out information where traitorous things happen. And that last one was the biggest key for me, because if he doesn't actually spend most of the time in the skyscraper, or if he does, then it's weird for him to be at the Namu location at that specific time, just waiting, or just showing up just in the nick of time to stop the heroes. And that's one of the biggest indicators that I feel Crimson would be working for All For One. because All for One would probably have, like I said, long-term gratification, meaning that he would have put someone at the school. And one of the biggest things I feel like why why he would want that, why he would want someone at the school, and I also thought about that, because why would you have a teacher there this entire time? And it got me to think, well, the school is the most potential. That school particularly is the most potential with high level people that want to be heroes, which means because it's so hard to like pass classes there. Also, you will need a good quirk, so it's a good place to spot quirks that All for One can take in the future. So he can be using the Crimson King to scout out for potential quirks for them to take. Any very rare particular quirks that have high level ends that he can take. Also, they might be recruiting too. That could be a thing. I hardly doubt that one though. But they did try to take Baku, so there could have been an attempt there. So it would make sense to put someone at a very refined school where tons of quirks go back and forth, tons of potential quirks, very unique quirks, very powerful quirks. It's like a good place. So that's one of the reasons why he probably was sent there to begin with, before the whole Deku thing. So the Traitor could have been there for that particular reason. There could be other reasons, but that to me seems like the most, because his Namus also need quirks, right? He stuffs quirks, and then depending on the quirk, depends on the Namu, how the Namu. So multiple reasons for him to steal quirks, for him to give two quirks, his old business kind of thing. But yeah, guys, what do you guys think? Particularly, that's my reason of thinking that it's Crimson King. Just because I said in all the locations, he's somewhat been involved. If you just remove the one where Tomura meets Deku by accident, if you don't count that as one, then it kind of makes sense. If you do count that one, that it wouldn't make sense. That's why I feel like that encounter might just be an encounter of destiny, like they say, and nothing more to it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would like to hear you guys' feedback on whether you think I'm correct or I'm wrong, debunking it, or more, giving me proof that I'm correct. Anything would help, just because it would continue the conversation. I really think he is a traitor, but like I said, feedback. I would appreciate the feedback. I am trying to grow this YouTube channel. A subscription, a like would really help, just because I do want to continue doing this, and I do want to do other mangas like Shield Hero particularly, and some other ones that are somewhat old school, but I enjoy them. Have a good day, guys.